Hi guys, and welcome to today's video. Today we're going to be taking a look at the brand new Chanel. These are the cream to powder blushes. There were 5 that released and I picked up all 5. Now I'm going to swatch them all today, but I'll probably try on about 2 or 3 of them. These were released last Thursday in New Zealand and also in Australia. Now in New Zealand these cost $103. Now that does include 15% sale tax. So in Australia they were under the $100 mark, and I imagine in America they'll probably be around $60 US. So this is the packaging that they come in, and it's just the typical Chanel packaging. These are made in France. They have a shelf life of 18 months from date of opening, and they also have 8 grams of product. And I've taken a photo of the ingredients at the back of the packet here, and I'll pop that up now, so if you want to pause and take a look. So these blushes are a new formula from Chanel, and I haven't swatched them yet. I haven't tried them in any way. So when I swatch and try them in this video, this will definitely be my first impressions. So it says on the website that these blushes is both creamy and versatile, featuring a new ultra-fine velvety texture. When applied directly to the cheeks using your fingers, the ultra-sensorial formula blends seamlessly with the skin for buildable color intensity and bespoke makeup looks, ranging from subtle to powerful. And they also state that these are available in 5 vibrant shades designed to flatter every skin tone, and they say that it ensures 12 hours of wear. So the formula of these blushes is an exclusive patented technique, results in a formula with no white base, unleashing the full potential of the pigments and ensuring maximum color saturation. Color intensity provided by wet pigments allows for rich shades and transparency in the body of the formula. These treated pigments are more compatible with the skin, therefore guaranteeing longer lasting color. They have sage oil combined with emollients, offers improved comfort for up to 12 hours. And they say for an intense look to use your fingers to dab on the product, and also then to extend the product out towards the tops of the cheekbones, blending lightly. For a lighter or even sheerer look, it says to apply them using a brush, and they refer to the Chanel brush, but you can use any brush that you want to. Now because this, I haven't tried it yet, but because this is more of a cream to powder, then you probably want a brush. The ones that I've pulled out is the Sonia G, the sheer buffer, and I've also got a BK Beauty brush, and I'll also try dabbing on with my fingers as well. So let's take a look at all the different 5 shades. So the first shade is Beige Eclatant. Next is Rose Radiant. Then we have Rose Ardent. And then we have Grenat Profond. And then finally we have Rouge Franc. So now I'm going to swatch them and just see what they feel like. They do feel not overly creamy. There is a little bit of the cream, but they feel more, as I rub it together, they're just super silky. So they go from just a very light creamy feel to a powder feel very quickly, but they feel super smooth, very beautiful. So this is the beige one. So that's with 1 swipe. So they are fairly pigmented. I'll just go over it again. Next is Rose Radiant. Then we have Rose Ardent. Then we've got Grenat Profond. Wow, they are pigmented and super smooth because they are creamy. These are just swatching, just absolutely gorgeous. And finally we've got Rouge Franc. So the blushes that I'm going to try on today, I'm going to try Rose Radiant, Rose Ardent, and I'm also going to try the beige one on as well. So what I'll do with the 2 different rose ones, Rose Ardent and the Rose Radiant, I'll put one on each cheek, then I'll take that off, and then finally I'll put on the beige one. So apart from bronzer, I have got all my makeup on, and couple of hours ago now, I did powder my face over the top of my foundation, but there is no bronzer. Now, some people thought that these might have a putty feel. Now, I don't have one of those type of blushes, but they're ones where you can almost press in and leave an indent in, and these aren't like that at all. You can't sort of press into them, but they do feel creamy when you first put them on your fingers when I was swatching them, and then they do change to that powder. They are a really beautiful formula. There were also some people that thought they may be similar to the Suku blushes, and while the Suku blushes are really beautiful, especially the melting formula that they used to produce, they don't really feel like that. This is sort of completely different, and I'm trying to think whether there is another blush in my collection that has a similar feel. Now, a while ago, Tom Ford released that cream blush, but of course that just stays cream and doesn't go to powder, whereas this has a very velvety feel. They feel really beautiful, and as you can see from the swatches, they swatch really beautifully as well. So I'm going to start off first with Rose Ardent, and I'm going to take the Sonia G. This is the sheer buffer, and we'll see how that applies. That is beautiful, and it does have just this very light sheen to it, but very subtle, very beautiful. Now I'm going to build this up for the camera. Just going to go again very lightly over the top. And then what I'll do, so these are definitely buildable, but what I'll do next is go in with my fingers, because that's the first way they say to try these out. But there's a lot of people I know that would prefer to use a brush. So that's just with going over very lightly again. And it just has this beautiful, beautiful sheen. It's really gorgeous. So now I'm going to go in with my finger, and we'll just tap it on. Actually, normally when I put a blush on with my fingers, I use two fingers. So I'll put a little bit more through the apple here. So you do get more payoff using your finger. But it is gorgeous and super flattering on the skin. Even though there's that slight sheen, there's no sparkle. It's just a sheen, and it just looks really, really smooth. I think that looks really gorgeous. So now on the other cheek, I'm going to put Rose Radiant, and I'm going to use a BK Beauty brush. So this is synthetic, and that goes on really beautifully as well. And again, I will build it up for the video, but looking in the mirror, probably would only need to go once. You get a very light wash of colour. It's very beautiful, but I'm just dipping the brush in again, and we'll go over and build it up. And again, just got this really, really beautiful sheen. Now this shade here has got a little bit more warmth than this one here. And I would say that Rose Ardent at this stage probably has a little bit more payoff, but then it probably was the brush that I used as well. So this is wholly synthetic. The Sonia G, the sheer buffer, that's got a mixture of natural and synthetic. And then again, I'm going to go in with my fingers, and we're just going to build that up. So they are definitely buildable, which I love. I love a blush that you can just build up very, very gently. And that is really beautiful. And there is quite a bit of difference between the shade and this one here. Quite a bit of difference. So I've got Rose Ardent and the side, the Rose Radiant. But both are really beautiful and very flattering on my skin. Really gorgeous. Certainly do not emphasize texture at all, even though they have that little bit of that gorgeous sheen. It almost has a smoothing effect as well. Very beautiful. So now I've removed both of those shades and I put back on the foundation and also the powder over the top as well. So exactly the same canvas that I had with the previous two blushes. Now let's go in with this beautiful beige. Now I'm going to use the Sonia G Sheer Buffer. I have given this a wipe down. And we'll just see what the shade is like. I just think this... It looked like it would be really, really beautiful, really gorgeous shade. Now, I think this one might have a little bit of a sparkle in there. It's not glitter or chunky or anything like that, but there definitely is a little bit of sparkle. So this is very beautiful as well and slightly different than the other two. It's really gorgeous. Now, I'm just going to do the other side, and then I'll build it up using my fingers. But this is a gorgeous shade. So a little bit different than the other two. Now when I say that there's a sparkle in there, it's not like you're putting a highlighter on your cheeks. It's just very, very slight and very subtle. Well, that is a very beautiful shade, and what a gorgeous summer shade as well. So now I'll just go with my fingers and just build this up. And we'll just do the other side. So you can definitely get much more payoff using your fingers. It just depends whether you're comfortable with that. But you can build it up just as easily using a brush as well. So that has built up quite a bit. And what a beautiful, beautiful shade. I think this is just absolutely gorgeous. It really gives you just a sun-kissed look to the cheeks. It's really, really beautiful. So as I was saying, I think this formula is quite unique, and just off the top of my head, I can't really think of another blush that I have in my collection that would be similar. But if you think of one just from my description of it, of how it feels, that there may be something similar, then let me know in the comments below, because I'll mention it in the next video and let you know whether I think that other brand of blush is similar to this one. But this is definitely very unique and far superior to those blushes that Chanel released when they reformulated the old ones. This is just absolutely gorgeous. I also forgot to mention that these are not limited edition, so these are going to be around for a while. Initially they will be snapped up fairly quick, but they will restock them, so there really is no rush. Now, out of the three that I just tried, which one do I like the best? Well, actually this one. I love this beige one. I think I would get the most use out of it. And out of the other two blushes that I tried, I'm not quite sure which one I prefer. They are both beautiful. This one has more brown in it. This is the one. This is Rose Radiant. And this one is Rose Ardent. So this one is cooler than this one here. And both are really beautiful. I do think that this one here is a little bit more pigmented than this one, but this is still a really beautiful shade, and I probably could have built it up even more than I did. But really gorgeous shades. If you love those rose type of different colors, then you will love these two. Really beautiful. But I do think that my favorite is the one that I've got on now, the beige one. I just think it's gorgeous, and even though it does have just that little tiny bit of sparkle and hardly any, it's just enough to give you that hint of that sun-kissed look without being too much. Really beautiful. And the formula is just gorgeous. They swatch beautifully. They apply beautifully to the cheeks. Absolutely gorgeous. But overall, so far, I just think this formula is absolutely gorgeous, and I think when they go on sale for the rest of the world, and I think that's going to be sometime around the middle or late August, but I'm not sure about that. But I'm sure when they go on sale, then they are going to be snapped up very quickly. Now, the next video I do on these blushes will be the two bold shades, and I think that they're going to be really beautiful as well. But that's it for today's video. I would love it if you gave it a like and subscribed, and I will see you next time. Bye.